Happy Sunday, folks. Jeff the Fireman here with Sons of Fire, Temple of Fire, Chasing Capsaicin, and a few others. It's the Sons of Fire Sunday Spice Show, episode 17. And this week we have Nico and Kary of the Capsaicin Cartel. Man, my brain is going crazy. Well, anyway, without any further ado, let me bring in Nico. Good afternoon. How are we?
Hello, everybody. Hi, Jeff. How are you?
I am fantastic. How are you guys?
We're doing okay.
Pretty good. Yeah. It's a beautiful day.
It's a nice afternoon for us here, and you're a couple of hours away over there. But I've got one of your friends who's going to come on, and one of our friends, mutual friends, Heiko the Warrior. Heiko, what's happening? Now that the
not much. I mean, if a fellow Dutchman comes in, you need to show your support, right? I mean, that's the way that it is. And of course, these lovely ladies right over there as well, Kary Ann. And I know it's no longer that you cannot do this without the support of a beautiful woman.
Man, who can't? Everyone, behind every successful person is a very helpful spouse, whether it's male or female. And it works.
We are completely 50% in, so we're doing everything together 100%.
Excellent. Well then, guys, why don't we start off by just telling us a little bit about yourself, how you met, how you got into business, basically how this Capsaicin Cartel got started.
Well, I came to Canada, that's now 15 years ago, about 15 years ago, and I met this lovely lady on the internet.
Like, you know, the traditional way.
The traditional way. I came to visit, and yeah, I haven't left. And I've been a chef all my life, and we were living in Chateauguay, Quebec, and one of my neighbors was growing super hot peppers. I walked over, and I'm like, that's cool.
So he comes home and he's like all pumped about these peppers, and I'm like, okay, well, what's that? Like, all right, fine. But I love it when he's passionate and excited about something. So I was like, okay, let's get him into this all the way, you know. And so I ordered some seeds, and the rest is history. Now
we picked up a few reapers, and I think it was 2 reapers and 2 white marugas or something, like small plants. And we grew them, and then I wanted seeds. And then we doubled in peppers, and then we double again. And then this year we're like, what, going tenfold?
We have so many plans.
A good problem to have.
Yeah.
And yeah, of course, the COVID hit. All the restaurants closed. The whole restaurant industry has been destroyed by the government and by this virus. And one day I thought, like, why do I not put it in maple syrup? That was our first. We
needed money, so we sold some peppers.
Yeah.
And then we had to do research on how much peppers cost to know how much to sell them for. And then we discovered more and more about the chili head community, about the pepper community, people who grow, people who eat, people who do challenges. Like, there was different levels, and the more we learned, the more excited we got, and the more things we wanted to do. And we swore up and down we would never make hot sauce.
I told everybody, like, I will not make hot sauce. I make maple syrup. Then one person asked me, can you make me a hot sauce? Yes. And there you go. All right. So I made for one person a small batch of hot sauce. And the next day we had bought bottles, and we started in a big pot, and let's see what happens. That's where we are.
That's excellent. I mean, well, let's start with one of these. Let's just start with your hot, because I love this. This is, like you were saying, your maple syrup. And I don't know if any of you guys, I know that Heiko has some, but the thing that I love about this is that when I first got it, I'm like, what the hell is in it? Oh. And I'm like, how do I get that out afterwards? Because I would. And if anyone, there's a nice floaty in there, if anyone can see. I don't know if you can. Well, maybe.
The hot pepper.
Yeah, that's going to get eaten by me when I get down to the bottom of that. And judging by how much it's really good, and I really do love the taste of this.
Want to try some too, hon?
Come join us, Grumps.
It's really great maple syrup, like top-notch maple syrup.
Canadian maple syrup.
I know, and it's just like so much better. And the color on it is just amazing too.
We live here in Saint-Remy, Quebec, and we are surrounded by amazing maple farms.
Maple syrup producers.
Maple syrup producers, and we have the most fantastic maple syrup. And at the Capsaicin Cartel, we believe in top quality products. I'd rather make less product, but give you guys an amazing product.
Exactly.
And but we stuff it with super hot peppers. There are two versions. We have the hot hay, and we have the dirty Sanchez. I'm sorry, Jiv, I did not send it to you. I think Heiko has one. And for the people,
I love the name.
There you go. The dirty Sanchez is the unfiltered version, and I have one without a logo, so you guys can see. Can you see all the goodness in there? All the yummy and delicious
pepper bits.
Jeff, you said you were very happy with this. Just one little floaty in there.
Yeah.
That is full of floaties of super hot chunks and everything.
Get one, man, because this is going to run out soon anyway.
Yeah, no worries, Jeff. I'll send you a dirty Sanchez.
We'll hook you up.
We'll hook you up.
Great. It's a great taste in one. And,
maybe you can maybe
extremely spicy. And I'll say for me, it isn't extremely spicy, but that's me. But for other people, hell yeah, this is extremely spicy. And
you will not mistake this for regular maple syrup at all.
No, I use it the same way I would use maple syrup. Splash it all over. That was like 1.5 servings, and I'm like, oh, I better slow down. It's not often. Normally, when you eat a pancake, you just put the dish in the sink. With this, I'm like, well, I'm not leaving that on the plate. So you're like, wait, go with it. Or I need the pancake to sponge this up. So it's. And I do like it. I do like that it's not an overpowering burn. It's not one that just comes out, because a lot of stuff, they'll try and just make, this is the hottest one, and that's it. So a lot of times heat can overpower the taste. But what I like, the taste of the maple and everything is there. It's just with heat. So they work in tandem, in unison together, and it's really, really good. I really love this.
I know that you've got a good way that you can use it with chicken as well. Isn't that so, Nico?
Yes, absolutely. And you can use it in baking. Bake yourself a cake, replace the sugar with our spicy maple syrup, and you're blown away.
You have to balance out the liquid ingredients with the maple syrup to get it. But the best way is to take a very dense cake recipe, put your maple syrup in the bottom of the pan, and then put your cake batter over top and bake it like you would bake a normal cake. And then you have all this like amazing sort of caramel stuff going on. We call it a pudding chômeur in Quebec, and chômeur is like somebody who's unemployed. So maybe it's not the case when you're using our maple syrup, because it is a little bit more expensive, but than just regular sugar. But it's so delicious like that. The other thing is if you you can glaze your pork chops with it. Be careful when you use it in a pan, especially with the dirty Sanchez, because you don't want to pepper spray your family. And it's
what we don't like pepper spray.
It's half inch, We got pepper sprayed actually because
Many times.
because we were using we had this idea that it would go faster in a glass pot because it conducts the heat faster. And it caused this big overflow, and so the dirty Sanchez was all over the stovetop.
On the burner.
On the burner, burning. I was downstairs, and I'm trying to have a Zoom meeting, and I'm choking. I really was pepper sprayed that day. It was horrible. So we don't recommend that you try that at home.
The great thing about maple syrup compared to regular sugar is that this is actually a simple sugar. So yes, it's got carbohydrates in it because it is sugar, but it is actually less. It's less bad for you than when you would be eating processed sugar. So this is a natural product that is actually coming from trees that is being tapped and boiled down to get to this consistency. And then Capsaicin, Cartel, Kary and Nico just add their goodness to it, and it makes it an absolutely amazing product.
Yeah, I added.
And we believe in these are Canadian-grown peppers from Canada or in Canada, and what is a better vessel than Canadian maple syrup? That's just keeping it as Canadian as possible.
And it's kind of fun.
Brandon Harris was asking if it's available in the United States, and I'll tell him if I've got a bottle of it, obviously it's available in the United States. So if you contact Nico or Kary, they'll be able to, help you with getting hold of it. But like I was just,
we're getting a shipment here in Ottawa pretty soon for a project that I'm working on that is going to be live May 1st. So keep your eyes open for that one too.
Exactly. We're gonna come. We're gonna be there on Tuesday, big boy.
Look forward to it. Coffee will be ready with cookies.
With cookies, as nice as can be.
Yeah, about coffee or tea. I've used this in my tea in place of a sugar substitute. I don't really use sugar anyway, but what I normally use, I put this in it, and it's so freaking good, because it adds now it makes my tea or my coffee maple flavored with heat and spices, which is a win-win. Plenty of uses, and especially like Kary was saying, the bacon uses of these. There's so many uses that you can use maple syrup for that, and having the spice effect in it just adds a little bit extra for me. I love that.
And I love using it in everything. I use it in my ribs. I use it in my marinades. I use it in everything.
It goes in almost all our sauces, by the way. It's sort of our secret weapon.
Yeah, like Clay just says here, I use it on bacon, and
yes.
Bacon,
maple syrup, and spicy. How much better can it get, right? I mean, that is a trifecta.
The fatty deliciousness of bacon with the hot sweetness. Come on. Can't get better.
Make your baked beans with it. If you like beans, you like baked beans. Oh my God, it's so amazing. Instead of some people use molasses and brown sugar, use the maple, the hot A, or if you have the dirty Sanchez, your baked beans are going to be wild.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great addition to a lot of food. I do like that, Plus, we're used to seeing lots of sauces and tinctures and other. It's great to see another product, say, just to say like maple syrup. With me, when I was eating pancakes, I didn't really eat that much pancakes because, I'm not a big fan of maple syrup on its own. You add heat to it, and I'm all over maple syrup. But no, I love maple syrup, but normally I wouldn't touch it. But and again, it's just seeing where your personal preference and where you're comfortable at eating it. But yeah, I highly recommend this one.
And we didn't want to go.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to move on to your sauces, one of the two. One of the. All right. So, which was the first sauce you made?
The antivirus 19.
No, Hell's Ketchup.
Was the Hell's Ketchup first?
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, Because we sandwiched it so quickly in between, and like we made another sauce right away after we did the antivirus 19, that we kind of it kind of didn't get the headline that it needed for the time that we came out. We didn't space it as newbies to this world. You know, we didn't realize that we needed to give it a little bit more space before launching the next sauce, because the antivirus.
Your mentors were bad. It didn't tell you anything about that either. I know.
I mean, so I'll tell you guys at home can see Hell's Ketchup right here. The first thing I want to show you with Hell's Ketchup is how it compares to a regular sauce bottle that you normally get. So, you know, you're looking at, judging by size right there. Yeah. It's a large bottle, which is, when it comes to ketchup, it's something that you need. So tell us about your ketchup.
It's a 10-ounce bottle, first of all, and the ketchup is it started for me. I'm Dutch, so we eat fries at least twice a week, and really, my favorite topping is mayo, ketchup, and sambal oelek. And I thought, like, why am I not having a really hot ketchup? So we started playing with the recipe, added our super hot peppers, our mix of super hot peppers in it. And it's thick. It's like you need to slam that bottle.
But it's ketchup. You know, you have to spank the bottle. It's the way.
Thank
you. One of the things that I'm looking forward to doing with this is that we have it's a sauce that the local restaurant used to make, and I really enjoyed it because it had spice to it. It didn't have much spice, but it had spice. And I used to buy them from him. I'd go in and buy like a half a gallon each time. And in the end, he's like, you know, dude, you can make this at home if you want. Yeah. And I'm like, I have no idea how to make this deliciousness. And he's like, well, what you do is take this amount of ketchup, this amount of mayonnaise, this amount of this, Tabasco. And I'm like, oh, Tabasco? Yeah, Tabasco. Can I use any? That's why it wasn't that hot. And he goes, oh, you can use whatever you want. And I'm like, right on. So I make my own, and it's great. But now that I've got ketchup, that's a spicy ketchup that I can add to it, that's just going to be a little, it's going to be.
The fun part about it is that I was lucky enough to be a guinea pig.
Yep. Somebody's going to try it.
I was a guinea pig, and I was a very, very happy guinea pig because this stuff is absolutely the bomb. It is amazing. I have eaten it with.
Spank it.
Spank it, Jim.
I have eaten it.
It's the tap on the neck trick.
Oh,
okay.
It's the classy way of doing it.
That's why the Heinz logo is there.
There it comes. Oh, man. Yeah, this is thick. This is thick and beautiful.
So we start off with a thinner base, and we really like, I only want one little bubble every 5 minutes, and it goes for hours. I want all the oils out of the hot peppers.
Yeah. It's well like the blizzard at Dairy Queen.
Oh, man, that's delicious.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's like different level ketchup. And again, just enough of a burn in it to make it really good. I mean, it could be a lot hotter for me, but I do like the taste of it. And you can't judge off of my taste because, you know, I wish the hot mama was here. She's busy. She's busy doing her studies, but I know that she would love this because, again, and I think I have another ketchup here that I got from a UK producer a while back, and that's good too. It's really nice tasting ketchup, but it's like the spice level is really up there, and I enjoy it. Whereas I enjoy it, I know a lot of people wouldn't, just because it's just that little bit too spicy.
Yeah.
This,
Most people find this very hot.
Yeah, we're not most people.
It would be very hot,
No.
but to me, it's
No.
really tasty, and it's like there's a slight sweetness to it that I like too.
And that's the maple syrup.
Yeah. It's great tasting.
The good thing about it is that you can still taste that it is ketchup, and it's got a nice burn to it. It's not overwhelming. It's got a good mouth burn to it. A little bit in the top of the throat, but it's yeah. It goes really well on my breakfast sandwiches that I have in the morning, on my afternoon sandwiches, in my evening food, pretty much everything.
I know. I'm thinking French fries with this now is going to be like
Exactly. I think it's made for fries. That's for me. If you like a nice heat kick and you enjoy fries, you got to try this. It's a different level.
It should
I do
replace
love the
all
balance.
of your ketchup.
I love the balance in it. That's one thing I will say. You know, because it's not like, you know, normally you put a sauce in and you're like, oh, the heat overpowers the taste. The first thing I tasted was like tomato, like ketchup.
Yeah.
That was the first thing that got me. Then I got the sweetness, and I was like, wow, that's tasty. And then here came the heat. And it wasn't one that makes you like, oh, wait, Nathan the Bleeder. I love that. You know, it doesn't make you do that. I love watching Nathan. I really do. I mean, I love watching it. It's fantastic. But, you know, so it didn't give me that reaction, which I enjoyed very much. I do love the whole balance of this and how it comes about, you know. So it's not something that just burns you straight. It's just something that comes in nice and gentle, gives you the taste of what you're looking for, the ketchup, and then adds a nice little bit of heat at the end. And I can feel it now after the second spoon, just a gentle coating and not too hot, you know, just enough to give it a decent amount of kick. See, if I would use this in every ketchup. I would use this in every ketchup space that I've needed to. So, big fan of this for sure.
I'm very happy with it, and I do about a bottle a week myself. So yeah.
I wouldn't change anything. I love the consistency. I love the thickness of it too. I love that it's hard to get out of the bottle. I do like that. So yeah,
you got to work for a little bit of pain.
I think it's worth it all on the level. Let's see. I've got one right. Oh, where did I go? Let's move this back here. Right here, there's a question. Where are we? Will this be available in fully?
If you want, I will put it in a dump truck for you. I don't care.
We'd remiss if you hit us up. We'll make a special 1 liter
4 liters.
for you.
4 liter
A
jar.
4 liter?
4 liter jar.
Well,
Get 4 of 1 liter. You're fine.
you know what? We'll send you a 4 liter jug if you want it. We'll figure it out.
I just got kicked from there again. Pain in the backside. I have to reboot my computer.
Oh.
Well, not now. We're all good. We're all good.
Okay.
But yeah, so definitely, if anyone at home hasn't tried the health ketchup, I highly recommend this too, along with the maple syrup. So that moves us on to the antivirus 19. Now I remember when you launched this, I really did love the designs and the picture and the old doctor suit with the beak and everything. I loved the build up to that. That was really well done. And, you know, the artwork that you guys have chose is fantastic. And again, what is it, 5-ounce bottle, a big bottle again?
That's also another 10-ounce bottle. Yeah.
We have it in both.
There it is.
So
But
it's up to you to decide which size you want. We have a special right now on our website. You can get both of them for $25. It's a sweet deal.
I've been lucky. I've been lucky enough to try it before, and the only thing that I have to say about this is This shouldn't be in here. There's a restrictor in there.
I know. I apologize. Rookie mistake.
We don't do it anymore.
Good. You shouldn't.
We had so many comments of it. Like, why is this flow restrictor on it? I thought, sorry. We won't do it again.
In true Canadian style. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, talking of
And
that,
that's
Eric, we got Eric here, and he says like a high
Micro-sized bottles, exactly.
Let's see. Oh, I've got a Dutch comment for you guys here too. That's where it's from.
Yes, let's
I
keep
bet
it
you that is heathen trying to use Google Translate because it doesn't make a lot of sense.
All right.
But let's just say, sure.
Yeah.
All right, so knock some of this up and have a taste of this. I've been definitely looking forward to this. I know Heiko's been raving about this a little bit for sure.
I've been going through a bottle quite quickly, so I mean, I'm happy that I know the guy that makes it, and he's only 2 hours away from here.
Exactly.
Awesome.
And with the guy, I mean the guy and the girl, because I'm not anything from the efforts of Kary. But I think it's the same as with us. I'm the brawn and she's the brains.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Almost everybody, Heiko.
Yeah.
All right, let's push some of you down in there. Clear that lid. Oh man,
That's a sneak preview.
I like the taste of it already.
So the antivirus 19 is Asian inspired. The Dutch and Heiko will confirm that. We grow up at least once a week. We eat Chinese food or Indonesian food or Suriname food or something like that. And for me, my passion is Indonesian and Thai. And this is made with Indonesian spices and an Indonesian sweet soy. And a lot of people are not familiar with it because they only know the salty soy, but the sweet soy is, it's so delicious and it works so well in hot sauce. And that's what, they said the COVID came from Asia. And so why not the antivirus too?
Well, here's to this. Oh, that's a real good tasting sauce again. With the tomato base, but not as strong as the other. But this is really nice tasting. And again, it's a slow build. You know, you get into your mouth first and you're like, oh, this tastes kind of like ketchup. But that's just because I had some ketchup. So that but red-based sauce that's nice and thick. Well, at least my one is, unless there's something. I'm like,
we believe it needs to coat your mouth, and it needs to stay there. It needs to stick there, so you just enjoy the flavor longer.
Yeah, I do like that. None of this is separated, because sometimes in it you'll see some oils here or there or something along those lines. But I haven't done any shaking on this or anything, so it stays together really well. The pour is fantastic. The glaze on it is stupendous. It's just amazing to look at. So I can imagine, I'm going to slather this all over my food this afternoon. I can tell you that. So another one. Cheers to you guys.
It's phenomenal on everything. Like, honestly.
Ribs is, we had ribs with that on it. It was so good. But I mean, like, it's kind of, it's a sauce I'm kind of used to because Nico's been making that sauce in different versions since I've known him, and putting it on chicken or putting it on ribs or putting it on, whatever kind of meat that we're eating. It's our chicken wing sauce kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's not overly hot. Well, to me at least. I mean, I'm sure to everyone at home, it's but and again, you can have a really good tasting sauce without the need for it to be like a face melter. And this is one of them. So It's got great taste, and I like the sweet soy inspiration in there and the little hint of it. I think that adds a lot to it, because a lot of the soys are a lot more watery. When you're doing them, when you're getting something like this that's thick, I do like, because I'm already thinking of stuff to add this to already.
So your fake chicken nuggets there, this will go really well on that.
It's not fake chicken.
Sorry, they're your vegetarian chicken nuggets.
It is, and it does taste weird. That the ones that I have, those new nuggets, I'm like, it don't taste as good as some of the other ones. There's a couple of makers, and in case you guys, I'm allergic to a protein in meat, so I can't eat meat. It's not that I don't like meat, I just can't. It makes me ill, and I swell up, and I get sick.
Okay.
So, but there's so many different plant-based things right now, even with bacon, because I'm like, I can't eat bacon, and even the bacon that I make, I call it fakin, because it looks like soy bacon, but it tastes like bacon, even though it isn't.
Nice.
But this, if you use the antivirus in your stir fry with some noodles, just fantastic. And then a little secret that we have is that you put when you're making a stir fry, your sauce, you have your antivirus that you put in it, and you put a spoon of peanut butter. And then a little bit of water, and you mix that up. It's unbelievable. It's so damn good. We eat like vats of it.
Nico, did you say you like Indonesian cooking?
I love it. I love it. It's for many years in my life, I ate it almost daily, and here it's hard to find. I find it so weird that in Canada there are almost no Indonesian restaurants, or there's one in Montreal, and it's so expensive that it's not even worth it. I'll make it myself.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a question here for Remus Requiem for Heat, talking about, probably to both you guys, concerning will any of you folks be having booths at the shows in Ontario, COVID permitting, obviously?
So, if I may take the answer on this one, we are actually planning to. We've been in the planning to organize a hot sauce expo in Ottawa, as Jeff knows, which was supposed to happen last year, May. And everybody knows what happened in May. Then we had to postpone until October last year. Now we had to postpone until May this year, and we postponed it just again to September the 4th. And I know that I am organizing it together with Angela under the name Heating Up the Capital, first hot sauce expo that is actually taking place in the capital of Canada. And we've got a lot of people that have already signed up. I'm sure that Capsaicin Cartel is going to be there as well. We are definitely going to be there. Herdberry Farms is going to be there. Jeff Davis from Island Sun is going to be there with Beijing Taiga. You named them. There's a huge group of people that will be attending when it happens. I'm not saying if it happens, but when it happens. Right now, the date is September the 4th. It still depends on what is going on in the world, as everybody knows. In Ontario, unfortunately, right now, we're again in a state of emergency. Eric Begg, Soy Sauce, will be there as well. We still have to wait and see what is going to happen. So that is the big unknown. Again, I'm saying when it happens, because even if we do have to postpone it again, we will definitely make this happen. This is something that has been on Angela and my agenda for a long time, and we've invested too much time to give up on it.
Yeah, I agree with you completely there. I know that we've shelved it a couple of times, and we even did an online version of it, but even the online version of it just doesn't give it, the whole effect that you're going to get. And of course, all of us, we love festivals, and this is our second year of no festivals, and it's getting to everybody. I get it; it's getting to everybody. It makes everybody pissed off, angry, mad, and we're our friends. But in some respects, by the COVID restrictions and everything, it's enabled, I think, a lot more of the Chile community to engage online, where we've become more friendly. I would have probably never met you guys if it wasn't.
Exactly.
And I'm like, and then the Virus 19 name, which is even better, you know. So I would have met through all of this. It's like, I think I met Heiko because I was going to host the festival and I was given his name, and man, he's like my friggin' twin now, you know. So it's great. And, you know, me and the Hot Mama, we're planning on going up to Ottawa. We want to, obviously, definitely, we're going to try our best to make it to that. Again, depending on the restrictions. So there is plans. I know that there's North Carolina is doing one around October. We're planning on going to that. And
New York, October.
Well, yeah, what we're gonna do is we're gonna fly into North Carolina, and then hang out there, and then rent a car from Charlotte, drive up to New York, see some sights, go to that festival, and then drive back, and then fly home. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll both. I'm both. I have both vaccinations. Alex is gonna get her second one, I think, sorted out. So everyone's. You know, it all depends on what the restrictions are and where they're at. You know, again, you can only go by whatever the restrictions that are going. But regardless, we're still gonna friggin' move it. You know. Oh yeah, there's Eric. Yeah, I met Eric. I think Eric was my first ever guest on when I did the Canadian hot sauce.
Nuke.
Yeah. And Eric was like, "Hey, let me show you my garden." And I'm like, "Yes." And Clay is going to be in North Carolina. That's going to be great, brother. I hope to see you guys over there. I know that Farmer Jay's going. Farmer Jay and Hope said they're going. Me and Alex are going to go. And, you know, we'll see. I mean, North Carolina. There's bound to be a bunch of people over there for that. Definitely. I'm hoping, at least. So there's one source left that I don't have that I don't know. Do you have a Verdes, Heiko?
No. They're coming on Tuesday, so this was basically a week too early.
I mean, coming for someone like who loves the Verde sauce. Big hashtag Verde Wars. I'm a big fan of it.
Verde Wars.
Yes. It's so I'm not a big chili head myself. I'm like Angela. I'm a normie, and I love jalapenos. So I'm a big fan. I like cayenne. That's my level where I'm comfortable at. And so I've been buying Verde sauces for quite a long time. And, you know, they're kind of runny, and they're mostly quite tart. And sometimes I mix them together. You know, I end up using like a Cholula hot sauce and the Verde sauce together, because sometimes I find it's not spicy enough. So this is kind of how my life's been going. And so I'm like, well, we've got a hot sauce company, like, come on. So I decided to experiment and do with fermentation. So I've been doing lots and lots of research on fermentation, and we don't have a fermented sauce at the moment. So I did these big jars of tomatillos and jalapenos and onions and tons of garlic and like all my favorite things. And it didn't work out.
That's funny. We had pickles. Pure pickles.
I mean, I've been on stages where I'm like, I think I'm going to chef this. I have no friggin' idea, but I add a bunch of stuff together, and I think it's going to be great. And I taste it. No. It's like crap. But inside, I made it, so it must taste good. Alex, try this. And she's like, that tastes like ass. And I'm like, okay, thank you.
Ass.
Dispose of it. So it's good, you know, to have at least the second person that you can say, does this taste good? And they'll either say yes or no, or move on. So, I mean, with Verdes, I'm a big fan, obviously. I'm a big fan of them. And I like ones with heat, obviously.
I still have a jar. I had two like this. So we're still trying to.
People will eat.
Sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
No, I was saying if they're spicy, people will eat them.
The thing is, it ended up being really like pickles. I put it in a salt brine. There's no vinegar in it or anything, but the acidity from the tomatillos really created almost like a vinegar flavor. So it really tastes like pickles. And that's the strongest flavor on top of it. So I said, okay, let me put that aside for a bit. Honey, please make me a verde sauce.
And how can you say no?
Yeah, exactly. No pickles.
And he did.
There you go.
You called it lush?
Yes.
Yes, it's like it's. How do you say
It's
that?
luscious. It's green. It's like unctuous. You know, it's all got all those things.
I love it. Definitely, because I mean, in England we refer to a lot of stuff as like, yeah, this thing is lush, and that's I think where I like it. You know, you're shortening down the luscious part. But I'm definitely going to have to have some of your verde for sure.
Yes, we'll send it along. It's quite different from all the other verde sauces that are out there. It's
Sweetened with maple syrup.
Sweetened with maple syrup.
Honey, maple syrup.
Really?
And we and we put in some things like spinach and green onions and things like that. We didn't want to put cornstarch or xanthan gum or any of those kind of fillers. We like to have the thickness come from natural sources as much as possible, real food. And so we put some of those things in that create sort of a thickness. So it's got this very luxurious mouth feel to it, which is very different from most verde sauces, which are either kind of like a blended salsa, or, they have sort of a separation that happens. There's like a liquid and then you have the little pieces. Yeah. Because I like something that's going to coat. That's kind of our thing, right? Like everything we make kind of has a nice coating texture to it. And so I wanted our green to have that as well.
Yeah, that's definitely sounds good. You can eliminate all your flow restrictors now. Because your sauce are definitely thick. I do like that. So, because I was thinking, I'm like, man, I struggle to get that stuff out of the bottle. I just don't know how anyone would get anything there all day. But maybe, hey, that's good exercise, build up the arms, get some muscle control.
Well, didn't they have that stupid exercise machine, the shake weight?
Yeah, the shake weight. Get in shape.
Well, I know that they'll say that the trick to this, and most of the ketchup will tell you, is that you'll angle it here, and then when it goes, you'll want to hit this part because that's the part that creates the air vacuum. And trying it on ketchup bottles, I'm like, I think this is a bunch of BS. And you're like, oh, it actually works. But still, you're like, oh, it won't come out.
I've had a few childhood moments where you're spanking the ketchup and it goes flying across the table. So
even with squirt bottles, that problem doesn't get solved because Angela was actually squeezing the squirt bottle, didn't come out. And of course, what every reasonable human being would do, turns it around to take a look, squeezes it again.
Oh, no. So how did it feel in her nose? Did it have a good
she had her safety glasses on.
Well, she's glad she had them on.
Yeah.
All right, so what future things have you guys got cooking? You don't have to tell us everything, but do you have guys stuff cooking for the future, stuff you want to work on?
We're working on a few new sauces. We're doing a few sauces for Shaker Sauce. We're making their brand or their own sauce, and there are at the moment 2 sauces that come out of our kitchen. And then we have Kenny Lamoureux, Never Die Lamoureux, and we are coming up with 3 sauces for him.
He has one right now, which is like mild, a papaya.
And a mango papaya mild sauce. Then we're going to come with a hot, and we're going to come with an extreme. Or that's in the planning.
I like the sound of that. And Kenny Lamoureux, I love watching him. He's on Sons too, and that guy is just amazing. He can just punish stuff away. It's very.
And we need to say that Kenny and Claude Dubé and Eric Brochet, they helped us very much. Heiko did phenomenal work for us. Thank you, Heiko. Honestly, we had questions about stuff other people don't even think about in the hot sauce world, and he helped us out with that. And so we're really thankful for them. And it's. Can I just say that the whole pepper community is just phenomenal. It is. We are so impressed with the friendliness, the camaraderie, the brotherhood, the sisterhood. It's amazing, and we're so happy that this happened to us. Let's take 8 months ago, or maybe 10 months ago, with the COVID, it was all heavy, and now we have a hot sauce company.
Excellent. And I hope that we can all still, even when restrictions open up and we still go out, I still hope that we continue doing what we're doing online. Yep. I still enjoy that fact of it. But I gotta say, I really do miss the in-person thing. That's like one of my favorite things. But what anything, if this pandemic has taught me, is to take notice when I go to festivals. Because I've been to all these festivals and I'm like, I've never seen this guy. And I'm like, Heiko, how have I never run into you at a freaking festival? And, I've seen Johnny, I've seen a few of the usual people, but a lot of the other people, I'm like, I haven't even seen you. And, they've said the same to me because I'm not hard to friggin' miss, 6.5 foot friggin' redhead. But, I've never seen you at any of these either. So it's good now that, people recognize other chili heads in the community, whether you're in Canada, UK, Australia, and that's what I like about it. And I like that. I like that we're hopefully going back to that, because the camaraderie that we have online is fantastic, but just having it in person is just like a different level. So I'm definitely looking forward to Ottawa.
So do we. It's long overdue.
Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we've covered everything, brother, unless there's anything else you've got hidden up there that you've made.
Well, we started playing with snowballs of fire.
No, snowballs from hell.
Oh, yeah, snowballs from hell.
Oh, I like it already.
So they were pretzels covered in white chocolate, and then we put our hot pepper blends through it, our super hots.
In a former life, I was a pastry chef. So I make chocolates and I do all the baking, and he does all of the savory, like the cooking. And we're such a great partnership in so many levels. What he doesn't do, I do. What I don't do, he does. So it's awesome. And it's why we've been together successfully for 15 years. Through many things, many differences and changes and what have you. But so I make chocolates every year as Christmas gifts. It's what I always do. And so I make these crushed pretzels that are mixed with white chocolate, and then you make these little clusters, and people go nuts for these things. It's the sweet and savory that's such a nice combination.
I was going to say the pretzel and the chocolate. I like it.
Because white chocolate is so sweet, and the pretzels are so dry and salty. They go so great together. You get that nice fat from the cocoa butter, and you get the sweetness, and then you get the salt and the crunch. It's like everything that I love and that we love. We don't eat pretty much any of the other chocolates that I make. They're really for gifts, but we do eat those. We do eat the chocolate pretzel, white chocolate and pretzel. So we thought, why not we just add our peppers to it? wouldn't that be cool? And maybe we could make a challenge out of it. So we don't have any reapers left right now. So we used some like our pepper blend that we have, which is mostly Trinidad Moruga Scorpion and ghost peppers, and a tail end of some of our Big Mustard Mama and the Yellow Bubblegum and 7-Pot and all those that we had at the end of the season. We dehydrated everything and made a mixed powder that we use in our sauces. And so as it's dwindling down, we're adding more and more hot peppers to it. But it's been easier to get the scorpion and the ghost peppers than any other pepper. So now it's mostly that, which is a really nice burn, right? So like the ghost pepper burn doesn't really last that long. And the scorpion is a nice, flavorful, full burn. But it's not maybe in the challenge arena for people who are accustomed to eating those really spicy things. So we had Claude Dubé try it, and he was like, it's a really nice snack.
Well, yeah.
So we're not there yet.
We talked to Claude. That's why. I mean, now Claude has a great tolerance, and while we're talking about Claude, Nico, you got a great tolerance too, brother. I saw you eat those friggin' Doritos, and Nico was there. These are the world's hottest corn chips. There's a whole bunch of Canadians doing it. Nico's there going, "These are great." Just eating away. I'm dying, and Nico's like, "These are just like savory Doritos."
Maybe Heiko is the same as me. If I'm cooking my hot sauces, if I make my house ketchup, I taste that like non-stop. I eat about 2 bottles of the ketchup before I'm happy, and I start bottling. So the heat, and then I have some like, oh, it is a little bit too hot, but it's not bad. So maybe that's where my tolerance comes from.
Yeah, no, those chips are hot. They are hot. I'll give them that. But again, there's another secret to it. If you drink a lot of water beforehand, like if you try and get a gallon of water or so in front of you, they're not as dry in the mouth because they're pretty dry in their mouth. The heat doesn't really bother me with them. It's more the chomping of the corn chip. The heat tastes.
It's trying to pound them down quickly, and they're so dry. You saw what Mike Jack had first time he did it. He just had the whole tube thing happening that is happening to a cat with hairballs because he was just stacking them down, didn't have enough saliva to get it down, so you get a tube full of crap, and he almost choked on it, but he got it out luckily. But yeah, he was going for the speed record. He couldn't do it the first time. Second time he took revenge though.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, I know that when Claude was like eating the chips, everyone was on there, and Nico and Claude were the only two. Well, Daniel wasn't. It wasn't affecting him as bad.
We were 3 of us that made it.
Yeah.
No, but you 3 were.
Yeah.
I know Claude had sort of like the pinky out, like eating them very elegantly.
I think the first time I met Claude, I hosted him on a festival, and he was eating a nemesis, and I'm like, oh my god, you're going to go for the nemesis? And most people, when doing the nemesis, are just like, and Claude's like, oh, we will have some fun, we will talk. It's hot, man. And he's like, yeah, it's hot, but it's very tasty.
It's very tasty.
And I saw him do Nick's new bar, or I think he's got another version of the raspberry or something. But I saw Claude do it a couple of weeks ago, and I asked Claude, and Brian was saying that it's more like what's the bar that gets you, Heiko?
The chili nightmare, chocolate chili nightmare.
Yeah, the nightmare. So Brian was saying it's more like the chili cherry nightmare heat as opposed to nemesis, but with raspberry in it. And I figure I think it's a new one that he was looking at, or Claude had the prototype. But I know that it lit Claude up a little bit, enough for him to be like, "Whoo, this is pretty hot." So,
yeah, what I heard from Eric what I heard from Eric afterwards is that it's about the heat level of nemesis, but with a different flavor to it and a better flavor. So according to him, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't had it. I haven't done the Nemesis, so I can't make a comparison.
Man, you've tried the Nemesis in the bites, Heiko. You know how that tastes.
Yeah, that's true.
That's definitely, that Nemesis bar is like sitting there just looking at me like, eat me. And I'm like,
just looking pretty.
Kenny's tried it a few times now, and he can down quite a few before it really gets to him. But he's special. Like he's come up in the Claude category, kind of,
Because these are definitely, this is a 16-minute challenge. So anyone will tell you that, when you're eating something that's super hot for 16 minutes, you can see it. You remember when Greg did it, Heiko? I think Greg was the 10th person to do it.
He was.
Slow down, Greg. He's like, I'm like, you're going to hyperventilate. And he did. He slowed it down and managed to get through it. But you ask Greg and he'll probably go, I'll never do that again. And,
exactly. That is. And actually, the funny thing is the Chili Cherry Nightmare got him even worse than the Nemesis, even though the Nemesis was bad. He had worse after effect after the Chili Cherry Nightmare than the Nemesis. So it's interesting how different things affect people differently.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. Definitely for sure. Well, I think we've covered just about everything, guys. So what I'll do is I'm going to see you guys out. I'll put you backstage and we'll come back and talk a little more so we don't bore all the rest of these people with our fun. But if anyone is interested, I'll be putting up some web addresses where you can go and check out some of them. I'm sure it'll be Capsaicin Cartel.ca.
TheCapsaicinCartel.com.
Oh, even better. So, we'll cover some of that. So, Nico, Kary Ann, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim. It was a pleasure. Thank you, Heiko.
Most definitely.
Wait. Hey, Heiko, guess what you're going to try on Tuesday? The snowball.
What we'll do is we'll take a video of it so people can see how it is.
I already did it.
Forget about the cookies. Keep the cookies. We're going to do that.
Advertising lines, This is not a snowball. That's in hell. You're going to beat this.
That's the goal. That's the goal.
All right, guys. We'll talk soon.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
And Heiko, we'll knock you backstage. We'll talk soon to you too. Thanks, brother.
See you later.
Well, as you guys saw, that was Kary Ann and Nico of the Capsaicin Cartel. And again, the Capsaicincartel.com. They've got tons of great stuff on there too, other than the sauces and the maple syrup. There's also excellent t-shirts and other swag. So while we were here, this has been Jiff the Fireman with the Sunday Spice Show. And I got to find my hydro. There it is. Stay spicy, guys.